been a weird year, right? And a lot of people are stuck in their own head, trying to figure out where to go next, what to do next, how to move on from this point, how to get used to the new normal that we keep hearing about. Well, I got 3 simple letters for you. You need to study your ABC. And I don't mean the alphabet. I mean, we all do that in school and we do that growing up and everything else. But when it comes to creating change and actually taking control and moving forward, we all need to master the ABC. So what do I mean when I say ABC? Well, first of all, let me start with the A, because the A is all about acceptance. Until you accept where you are right now, you ain't going anywhere else, right? It's as simple as that. It is impossible to move forward and make significant change without actually starting with where. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk over the last few years about start with why. And, Simon Sinek's book is absolutely brilliant. I love that book. But it's not just about what's your why. It's not just about why you're doing something. It's also about where are you? Where are you starting from, right? Because if you don't know where you are, how can you ever get a map to where you want to go? You think about it logically. If you're lost in a shopping mall or something, when you find the map, the most important thing is not where all the stores are, it's where am I right now? And when I know where I am, then I can start thinking about how I move forward to where I want to go. So step 1 in any kind of change is always about acceptance. It's about accepting that I am here. This is my reality, not better than it is, not worse than it is, as it is. I don't need to know about your fantasy or your catastrophe. I need to know about the reality of where you are. Or more importantly, I don't need to know it, you do. Okay? When you know where you are, that goes from A, acceptance, to B. And B is all about belief. It's about believing that you can actually create change. Because if you don't believe you can do it, guess what? You're right. There's a famous quote that says, believe you can do something, you can. Believe you can't do something, you can't, right? If you don't believe it, you will never see it. I know they say seeing is believing. It's back to front. Believing is seeing. You have to believe in your own abilities. You have to have faith, right? You have to have some hope. Now, one of the things to do, if you're stuck and you don't know how to believe in something, right? Try and find someone else that's already done it. You look for examples of people who've been in the same kind of position as you and have come out of it. And even if there's only one, even if you can only find one person that's had a similar kind of experience, if one person can get a successful result, if one person can get through that difficult time, if one person can survive or thrive, one person can achieve, so can you. Right? So can you. At least you have the ability to. I'm not guaranteeing you'll get a result, but you have the ability to. And if you believe in yourself, you are much more likely to get the result that you are trying to create. So we have to accept, we have to believe. But it's ABC, right? So what's the C? Well, the C is all about courage. Because here's the reality. The thing you need to do to get the result you want is probably the thing that you're not doing. Because if you're already doing it, you'd already be getting that result, right? If you're already showing up as the person that gets that kind of result, if you already had that kind of behavior, then guess what? You would already have the result. You wouldn't need to change anything. So if you're talking about the need to change, if you're talking about moving forward and doing something different, you have to have the courage to try that thing. It doesn't matter how much you learn. It doesn't matter how many books you read. It doesn't matter how many videos you watch, how many seminars you go to. It doesn't matter how much you pay for coaching. If you never take action, you will never move forward. So let me recap. We have to accept, right? If we want to make a change, we have to accept where we are, where we're starting from. We have to have the belief that we can move forward. Right? We have to believe in ourselves in some way, shape or form. And like I say, very often the best way to discover that belief is to actually find someone that's already had a similar journey. It's to look for people who've been where you were, who want to get to where you want to go, and basically model them, follow their map, climb their ladder. Right? Now, I'm not saying copy everything 100%. I'm saying use that as the inspiration to show you can move forward. If you want to lose weight, how many people are out there that have lost weight? Significant amounts of weight. There is always celebrities. Right now there's a whole bunch of stuff in the newspaper about Adele and how Adele has lost weight and changed her body shape. Well, if she can do it, I can do it. You can do it. We can all do it. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. but it does prove that it's achievable for human beings to get that result. Roger Bannister in the 4-minute mile, okay? Roger Bannister, no one thought it was possible to do a 4-minute mile. Nobody, right? And so, there was years and years and years of people getting really, really close. Roger Bannister does it in a really short space after that. Other people have done it, and since then, loads of people have done it. Okay, but it needed one person to prove that it was an achievable thing first. Okay, so acceptance, belief, and encourage. When you know what the steps are you need to take, you have to actually take them. You have to make time for you. You have to make time to invest in yourself, to look after yourself, to put the action in. Because the only place that success comes before work is in a dictionary. I learned that when I was 12, and it's stuck with me ever since. Even in times when I haven't wanted to do the required work, put in the required effort. In fact, I don't even particularly like the word work. I prefer the word practice. Right? We need to figure out. We want to create change. We've got to accept where we are. We've got to believe that it's possible. But part of that is figuring out who we want to become. And then practicing the kind of habits, routines, behaviors that person has. And we'll never get them right on the first attempt. The first time we do anything, we probably suck at it, right? Most things at least. But it's take that thing, practice it, do it over and over and over again, and you should see the results show up. So that's it from me, talking about the ABC of how to move forward in 2020. If you want to know more, then make sure you subscribe to this channel or this page. Feel free to put comments below if you've got feedback or you've got questions or whatever. And if you want some more direct help, reach out to me, send me a direct message, and I will happily communicate with you and see if there's a way that I can help you more directly. Anyway, I'll catch you soon. Cheers. Bye.